and welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. And it's me, Oberon, with week 2 of the current Goth Tarot. And Goth Tarot for the month of June is focusing on the concept of evading happiness, which I will get to more of just about a minute. We're going to open with a reading from the Earth and Bone Oracle by Syrian Shadow. Kind of set our tone here. And like I said, this is week 2. We go through the entire month, starting with week 1, defining what our shadow work for the month is. And we did that with Banshee last week. So I'm going to refresh our memory on that. But as I said, first, we're reading from the Oracle. Earth and Bone. It's by Syrian Shadow. And our card is the Key. So I think that's kind of lovely. Inner calling, clarity, resolve, intention, objective. You may need to practice being present. Your messages of fulfillment are sent to you by Spirit and found in the awareness of presence. You have an inner calling. Fulfilling your purpose is attained by the steps you take now. The destination is secondary and only achieved after you have completed the present steps. What action can you take now? Remember, if the means do not contribute to happiness, neither will the end. Your current state of consciousness determines whatever is manifested in the future. Inner alignment is the main objective of everyone. Being present allows you to attain inner alignment. Your goals, such as a career or life's work, will fall into place once you are aligned. Through experiencing mistakes in a trial and error environment, you can determine what your purpose is. A process of elimination determines your soul's path. Discovering what is not for you leads you to what you should be doing. Never allow fame or fortune to drive your actions. Purpose does not come from your mind, and it does not come from thought. It comes from being still and allowing the universal energy to come through you. It is a feeling. When there is something new you want to learn, simply add it to a list of all the things you wish to learn and take actionable steps to learn it. If you truly love it and it comes easy to you, then you will naturally move into alignment and the universe will conspire to aid you. If not, then move on to the next thing. Just make the steps today that will propel you towards what you want to learn, see, do, or become. One step at a time. Be here now. Affirmation. I trust that the universe is supporting me. I accept that everything is working out the way that it should. And so once again, that was from the Earth and Bone Oracle by Syrian Shadow. So I thank him for this oracle and for that guidance. All right, like I mentioned a couple times now, we're working with evading happiness. I create my own peace of mind. So I want to refresh our memory by reading a little bit from that page once again. All right. And now I'm going to read from the supplement section as we're progressing through this. The more you've experienced unhappiness, the more you fear the opposite, because a part of you is conditioned to fear what you don't know. You may consider happiness as a dangerous and destabilizing thing, and I protect you from that by keeping you in your comfort zone so that you're assured. You prefer to keep happiness at bay rather than run the risk of losing it. But it is hope and love. It's knowing your needs and seeing them fully met at every level. So that's always good to remember that. Next week, we'll renew the third section. I believe that's called the warning section. We did most of these in the first one, and you can go back to those. Those are collected in the Shadow playlist on our YouTube channel, so check those out. I'm now going to update us and say, well, so does this work with that shadow, evading happiness? Are we getting something out of that? What are we getting? So I'm going to use my other Shadow Work Tarot, well, my Shadow Work Tarot, it's called the Shadow Work Tarot by Erethereal, to show us what progress we seem to have been making, hopefully. All right, and I'm going to just put you up there a little bit. My camera view is a little bit off today, so I apologize. But hopefully you can see that I am, in fact, shuffling these cards. And let me tell you, they are a large, long, tall deck to handle. When I was a younger tarot reader, I had no problems with these. My fingers were supple and could pull it all together, but now they're a little bit arthritic. Mr. O is not quite as flexible in the fingers. All right, what is our update? What is the update to our work with evading happiness? It's the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is perhaps a good card. It's saying that we're kind of in a prepared mode. We kind of have advantage, not prepared, but an advantage mode. We seem to feel like we're standing somewhere where we feel we can either work against those things that are still holding us back there, or possibly even strike out into a new territory. So this would seem to be a good progress card. Sometimes when we look at the progress, it doesn't always feel like it's enough. But here it just sort of feels like we are kind of pushing ourselves to be in charge of this. But there's still the possibility that there's a dark tide that could be trying to pull us back or remind us to not go as fast or to not go at all. I'm going to use my other deck from Erethereal, the Opaline Tides. And we are looking at the dark tide. The dark tide could be a tide that brings something in that could be helpful, or it could be the tide that pulls us out away from safety. Depending on your own view of darkness and safety and things, you could see that the reverse. You could see that the tide pulling us out is really doing the opposite. The tide pulling us, washing in, is bringing something that is actually going to be helpful in a way. Or I don't know. I mean, what does the tide move and how will it affect the progress? Because that's what we're reading about. What tide could be working for or against us. It's despair. It's the star reversed. We maybe are having problems letting ourselves being pushed or moved towards this progress in evading shadows. I mean, maybe we don't like what's really happening there and we're resisting that. You know, as the tide does resist measures to swim back in, the star's lack of seeing a destiny is once again evading happiness. So it's kind of kicking in there, and we have to keep thinking that we have to stay ahead of that. We have to keep putting ourselves on a higher ground from it. So keep this in mind, that it's not going to be this easy as just saying, okay, I've identified it. It's really staying clearly engaged with it and working against a tide of despair that tells us, no, we want to create the peace of mind we have by not taking a chance on finding happiness. Oh. So now we're going to look at a couple other issues, and then we're going to close up here. This is week 2, so we're not always doing the deeper meditation. I'll do that in a couple weeks. We're going to look at the dark detour. So we now realize that there's a feeling of despair that's holding us back. We may also be trying to find something else to do instead, to distract ourselves or divert ourselves by taking a detour, by finding a way to say, well, I know that's important, but I have to wash my hair tonight, or something like that. I mean, isn't it the standard excuse, like when you don't really want to do something, you don't want to go on that date? I'm taking out the garbage tonight. Oh, okay, that's going to take you all evening. Whatever. At any rate, for the dark detour, we're going to use the Midnight Boulevard. And I really like this deck. I got it at Tavada.com. They have a lot of really cool decks. I really need to go there and buy another one. These are not AI as far as I can tell. They're beautiful decks by original artists. So having said that, the dark detour. What road or path would you willingly try to move down to move yourself away from dealing with this? Detouring away from what you should be doing here. Shame on you, but I get it. If we are determined to remain unhappy, so be it. But if you're here, maybe you don't want to be determined to be unhappy. Maybe you do want to try and get better. But first of all, what is your dark detour? What is your way of moving in a different direction? That's the Empress. Oh, right. I know you, Empress. You're saying there are other things or other people that need me more than me. I am martyring myself. I am putting myself in charge of taking care of other people, and I can't take care of myself. I'll come back to that when it's more convenient. Oh, that sounds like you. It could very well be. So sometimes we do that. We feel that there are people or other situations that are more important than our own. But this card is telling us, no, your own happiness is key here. You cannot keep avoiding finding your own happiness and using other people's sorrow to keep you from finding your own. Because in all likelihood, it's an excuse. And you're also robbing people of the dignity or the ability to take care of their own problems, just like we should be asking ourselves to. What's the dark twist? What are the unknown factors that could pop in here? This is not a dark tide that brings despair to you, but it really comes from you. This is not the dark detour, your decision to walk away from this work and go somewhere else. This is a possible external factor, an unknown factor. What is its purpose? Is it something that could help you? Or will it make things more complicated? Do we want to know? I'm using the Black Tarot for the dark twist. And once again, that twist is an external factor or actor that could actually interfere with this. Maybe in a good way, but probably not as likely. It's the reversed Emperor. And more likely than not, the reversed Emperor is you. It's a part of you. It's not necessarily external, only in the sense that it could be, more likely than not, maybe this, semi-subconscious thing about yourself that you use to purposely create problems by not being competent. You're a very incompetent emperor. Now, I suppose it's maybe because I've said it, maybe this is somebody else, some situation in your life that causes this instability, that maybe you have a mad emperor who, and I think collectively at this point in our American history, we might indeed have a mad emperor, but I'm not going there. But maybe on a personal level, there's something that creates instability, and yet it shouldn't be, because it should be better. It should be an emperor. It should be something that provides resources or help or has a clear idea about managing things. And this seems to be anything but. Could it be an event as opposed to a person? Could it be like something falls in your lap and it's so devastating that you have to retreat on a number of levels and change your course? I mean, like losing a job, having an incredible bad thing happen, like a car accident and somebody's seriously hurt. Don't laugh, but you never know what the dark twist could be. So be wary of that. Like I said, I sort of feel it could be something in yourself, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be something outside of yourself. So unless you have actually experienced having, unusual phenomena in your home, like there's an unexplainable entity there, I don't think so. Finally, we're going to look at the dark spiral. What is it that drains you? What is the thing draining you, keeping you from finding the energy you need to work on your shadow issues or do other things that really benefit your life? I'm going to use Tarot V, which is my vampire themed tarot. Very amazing deck, and I usually only use it here on occasion, or I use it during Halloween. The Halloween season, I try to have some vampire tarots flapping around there to give me a festive reading. So check that out in October. But for today, for Goth Tarot, we want to see, and two, this could be possibly, likely, an external factor. But once again, it could also be something that maybe is more likely you, an attitude or thing you're doing that's causing this drainage. What is your dark spiral? What causes your dark spiral? It's the Hermit. I had to look for a minute because I wasn't sure if the card was reversed. I thought maybe it was the Hanged one, but that would be 12, not 11. So it's the Hermit. What drains you, perhaps, is the fact that you try to stay hidden. You try to absent yourself from other people. You're afraid of interactions with people. But because you're doing this, it's actually draining you, because the lack of interchanges with people is probably what's actually causing the drainage. You need healthy interactions with people who care about you, or people you can feel good about. That by hiding yourself away from people or closing yourself off people, maybe you're not 100%, sitting in a cave like a hermit, but maybe you're less accessible for some reason right now. And this process of doing that is probably also just causing you to eat at yourself. I mean, you're draining yourself because you're not able to relate to people for some reason during this time. There's a lot to think about here. Gotta close with a reading from the Dark Light Oracle. I want you to consider tuning in next week, week 3. We'll be dealing with some other things, such as your dark avatar, as well as updating our progress and seeing if maybe the tide is shifting for us. Earth. You gain what you work for. Number 4. Dreaming can be very pleasant and insightful, but if you only dream and never take concrete action, you will never turn this dream of yours into reality. There's no place like home, but a warm, comfortable, sweet home will not pop up by magic alone. It takes hard work. So now is the time to root your ambitions into the ground and go for them. Do not wander in chimeric fancies. Engage a pragmatic mind. Develop a visionary plan. What is it you want to build? What is it you want to gain? How much money do you want to earn, and what will you do with that money? Material abundance can be yours, but only if you give yourself the means to make it happen. I don't know if you remember, but we, at the beginning, had the key. We talked about the key. I don't think it's on the table there anymore. But this is saying that really, perhaps what happens with evading happiness is it sort of creates a brain fog. It's an insulation that won't allow you to take more concrete action. It makes you procrastinate more and things like that. Affirmation. I am willing to turn my dreams into something real and measurable. I want abundance, and I want money, and I am ready to do whatever it takes to bring them into my life. And you know, Mr. O is not selling out to be a capitalist, but maybe that's what's happening is, you know, we're talking about, you know, the tide of despair and other things going on as we're not finding happiness. But maybe we have to say, money can't buy you love, but maybe it can buy you something that will make you happy. And maybe it's the shock therapy of doing that that can help. You still have to focus on the work. You still have to figure out what it is that prevents you from finding happiness. But in the meantime, maybe you should go out and buy a chocolate shake and enjoy that. I'm sorry if I'm making light of this, but I hope to see you next time. And don't forget to watch our live stream tomorrow night, TFT, After Dark, from 7 to 9 p.m. And then Friday is my emotional exchanges at 7 a.m. Saturdays, happy hour. Happy hour will be back at 10 a.m. It's normal time. Banshee's Material Matters, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. And then our other live stream on Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. So that's it, everybody. I hope you're getting something out of this, and I wish you well. Please take care. Bye now.